Welcome to Whitening Wednesday. I'm Rach, your guide in the teethpreneur industry. Each week, I'll share insider tips, inspiring stories, and practical advice to elevate your business. Tune in and let's make your success shine. Happy Whitening Wednesday. This is season 3, and today on the show, we have Dr. Erin Smith with us, who is the founder of Temporary Tattooth. This is going to be such a great chat. Erin is definitely coming out with a new product on the market that is going to change the game when it comes to your teeth whitening and tooth gem business. So, Erin, first thing is, I'm sure the listeners are like, you just said doctor. So tell us, what made you become a dentist?
Well, it's kind of a combination of a few things. Growing up, I worked in carpentry, and so I was working with my hands a lot. And then as I went to college, I got really into ceramics and sculpture. And so I also liked science, and I was trying to find something that blended those different, different interests that I had. And dentistry just fit. Like I had a friend that I used to go water ski with, and he told me, "Hey, you should come check out my dentist's office and see if you like it." And it just it clicked. So yeah, I mean, dentistry, I love science, I get to do art. I mean, maybe it's not a good thing that I like it when people come in and they have like a broken front tooth, because I know I can fix it. I can help them, and they get up out of the chair after an hour and they're like, "Oh my gosh, my tooth's back." So it's a cool blend of a lot of different things that I like.
Oh, for sure. And dentistry is like one of those things where, as you mentioned, it's a full scope. You can do so many different things with dentistry. So it sounds like it was a perfect fit for you. So, what were you finding? Like in your many years of practice, were you noticing that patients were starting to either maybe ask more about teeth whitening or tooth gems, and then you just kind of started thinking about those services a little bit more? Or did the idea of the tattoo on the tooth, come before the patients were requesting it?
It actually came before the patients were requesting it. Like I don't know, maybe I'd seen a tooth gem. I think I had a dental assistant that had one like years ago, but it actually came up because I mean, being a dentist, bonding stuff to teeth is like my bread and butter. That's what
Right?
I do all day long. And so I've worked a lot with light cure resin materials and composites. And I also like to surf. And so I live out on the Oregon coast. And so I've surfed for a while now, and I've had to repair my own surfboards. And when
I
you
can
repair
imagine.
surfboard, yeah, yeah, with all the rocks around here. But but yeah, I repair my own surfboards, and it's surprising how similar like the process is. You use light cure
Really?
resin materials, yeah, and then you're sanding and shaping the board. And when I was repairing one of my surfboards, I was sitting there. You'll actually laminate fiberglass cloth with resin to strengthen your surfboard. And I was thinking, man, I wonder if you could laminate something on a tooth. And
Yeah.
kind of a ridiculous idea, but the next day I went and tried it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is going to work. So that was a couple years ago, and so we've just refined the process over a couple of years and found materials that work, materials that don't. I've tried, I mean, gosh, probably 100 different bonding agents, and just found what what works the best. So, and then after that, um, my staff started hearing what I was doing, and then they started telling me about um, tooth gems more, because it was kind of picking up a little bit. And
Yes.
um, yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny too. Initially, we started marketing just to dentists. Um, I was just kind of hitting up my friends to check it out, and um, we had some interest there, but we had teeth whitening technicians and
Yep.
tooth gem technicians start to hit us up, and then tattoo parlors, and just a whole different demographic than I was looking at. And that's where a lot of the excitement's been. So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's just weird. I didn't expect it to go this way, but that's where it's at. And it's been a lot of fun. I've met people who I'd never probably talked to, you know, or get to know in my field of work, and it's just been awesome.
That's incredible. So it's literally been like a journey from start to finish, boots on the ground. You're the one making this, you're the one trying out the different products. Like it's coming from you, which is amazing. So it's funny that you kind of mentioned that, like, back a long time ago, one of your assistants had a gem, and it's true. Like there was a point where tooth gems were popular, but they definitely had died out, and there was a period where they were not popular anymore. But thanks to TikTok, gems are back. Gems are back. They're a hot topic and they're a hot service. And it's so true. I mean, I'm sure you see it as a dental provider. Doing a service like a tooth gem or teeth whitening, it's not really worth your chair time. And by the time you bring in the product, you waste your staff time, et cetera, et cetera. So there's definitely a reason why the cosmetic industry is doing really well with these services because they have the time to provide them at lower costs too, right?
Yep.
Because their chair
Yeah, for
time
sure.
is not the exact same as your chair time.
Uh,
So that's so amazing that you've been opened up into the cosmetic world. So maybe our listeners listening are like, okay, what are you talking about? So if I'm explaining this correctly, pretty much a tattoo, like tooth, the temporary tattooth, literally is a quote unquote tattoo on the tooth.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's like a cellulose substrate that we use that we manufacture with just non-toxic inks that you apply to your tooth. I mean, and when you apply it to your tooth, the bonding agent makes the cellulose substrate go clear, and so
Okay.
you don't see it. So yeah, so you're just
So
bonding it with resin on your tooth.
that makes sense how you kind of mentioned that you've been trying so many different bond brands, etc., because you probably have had to really figure out, what's leaving a film and what's not.
Yep. Yeah, some definitely work better than others. There's lower quality bonding agents or bonding resins, and then there's high quality bonding agents and bonding resins, and they both work differently. I mean, they'll all
Oh, for sure.
attach the image to the tooth, but some are a lot more durable than others.
Yeah, and probably the clarity too, right? To actually like see the
Sure.
design. Yeah. So it looks like you're offering two different options for your tattoos. So you have a take home option and then you have a provider, like a professional option. So, what are the two different steps that make one, even though they're both semi permanent, what makes it different between the temporary and then the pro application?
So the biggest difference is probably application method and the products that you use. So as far as basic application goes, it's pretty similar. In the beginning, if you just want it to last for like a day or 2 days or a couple of weeks, you can apply it with just straight bonding resin. So you can just dry off the tooth, apply bonding resin, put the
Okay,
tattoos on there, and then put maybe 2 layers of bonding resin on it, cure it, and you're
that's
done.
it.
And that's it. And it'll last for a couple days, up to maybe a week, and you can take it off anytime. You just scratch it with your clean fingernail, and then it comes off pretty easy. The other method that you can use is just using acid etch before or a priming gel.
Okay,
And so it gives that bonding agent a little bit more to hold on to. It causes some little micro structure in your tooth so that bonding agent can grab on, and it just makes them last a little bit longer. So with that, whether you're doing it at home or in office, they'll last probably up to 2 weeks, depending on the resin that you use. Some will last even longer. We have some bonding resins that are really durable that we recommend. The one we have in our home kit is great for home application.
awesome.
There are some stronger bonding resins though that even with just doing etch and the bond in a professional situation where somebody's using like great bonding technique,
Mhm.
it'll last months. I've put some on my kids without etch, and they've lasted a couple weeks and
That's amazing.
or up to a month. But the final option, which is the real reason the real way I foresee like professionals using it is to get like extreme longevity out of it, and that's to get
Mhm.
over like 3 months, and that's where you get some semi permanence in it. Um, Even with etch, you can scratch it off with your fingernail. You can eat with it and brush with it and treat it. Kind of
Like
forget about
normal.
it. But with pro application, you can actually put a clear flowable overcoat over the top of it, and you can have it last for. I mean, I had one on for probably a year before I
Oh,
took it off.
wow.
Yeah, the big difference is removal. At that point, it's a lot harder to get off, and I mean, you may not be able to get it off with your fingernail if you're using a clear overcoat.
So then it would
So,
be more similar to like, say, if you had something on like a tooth gem and you wanted it off, same thing, you'd have to go and get it professionally removed, get the adhesive removed, etc.
yep, yeah, Yeah, then you need some professional removal probably for that. So, and I mean, it's really easy. It's like removing orthodontic cement for braces. I mean, there's no anesthetic or anything like that. You can take it off in about, 30 seconds
For
and
sure.
doesn't damage the tooth surface at all. So,
Yeah, which is so great, and especially since different tooth gem providers are already putting that in their consent before they put on a tooth gem. Is the patient is already fully aware that if they want it taken off, or even if it falls off and the adhesive is still on, they do need to go seek out their dental professional, their dental team to get that removed. So that's great that that piece of the puzzle is already worked out. It's not like you're bringing anything new to the market there. It's something that's already been in play.
yep,
So it should be a really easy addition to any provider who's already doing something similar.
yeah.
Now, what have you found when it comes to the curing light? So I love that in
Mhm.
your take home kits, it almost looks like a little flashlight.
Yep. hmm Yeah, so we have two different types of lights. Like we have a little squeeze light that you can squeeze, and it's not very powerful. It takes a lot longer to cure. We also have a thing we call the ultralight, which is it's a fairly strong little flashlight. It'll put out similar to kind of maybe a low power curing light. It puts out about 800 milliwatts of light. And it'll cure a a tattoo or a tooth gem in 30 seconds or less. And so that works really well.
Oh, I bet. So then for then your professional application, then I'm
hmm
assuming that's when you are recommending a more standard dental curing light where we are going to have a little bit of higher wavelength there and
Yep.
power to then get some better cure, especially if you are, say, putting something like that flow adhesion on top.
Yeah. Yeah. I use what's the light I use? I think it's an Ivoclar Vivident
Mm,
blue phase power cure or something like that. And they're definitely more expensive.
for sure.
That's what I use like in the office to do fillings and crowns, stuff like that. But I think that one maxes out at almost 3,000 milliwatts. So that's a really strong light. You could probably get by with something between 1,000 to 1,500 milliwatts of power. So, and those work well too. So, um, you just want something that's kind of broad spectrum because curing lights will hit different wavelengths.
For
And,
sure.
but generally, if it's even our little ultralight that we sell in our home kits, will do a good job for tooth gems.
Amazing.
But I think in a professional situation, you'd want something maybe a little bit more powerful.
Perfect. So then I can imagine, like say in a teeth whitening space, a lot of teeth whitening providers are like, say, when they're curing their liquid dam, they're just using their floor light,
Oh,
and
okay, yeah.
that works really well. So I assume probably they would be able to just use their floor light in these situations as well, because it would be a lot stronger than, say, just the handheld option for the take
hmm
home kits. So that's
Yeah.
another thing to note, which is exciting. The less things that they have to add, the better. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
had mentioned that you had placed some on your kids. So does that mean that right now, and just from the different research that you've done and definitely the safe materials that you're using, is there like an age restriction you would recommend for these?
Not really. I mean, as long as they're able to sit still for the procedure, I don't even know if it's a procedure. Like the process, it takes maybe 2 minutes. So my niece, how old is she? She's probably 4. I think there's a picture of her up on our Instagram. She's got a little unicorn on her front tooth.
Oh,
But
too cute.
yeah, it was awesome, and she did great. She sat there for the 3 minutes it took, and she was so excited about it. So as long as I mean, one thing that helps is using a curing light again that works well. Just because if you use a curing light that doesn't cure the material, as it could taste funny, or I
Mm,
mean, it might feel a little sticky or tacky on your tooth. If you
for
use a curing
sure.
light that works, it sets hard and fast. And I mean, for little kids, it's super easy because it's such a quick thing.
I didn't even think of that, but that makes a lot of sense. And that's a great note for sure, because you're right. Most dental products don't taste great. So that would definitely be a great thing to mention if you are doing this on somebody that is a little bit younger. So then you have so many different options for variety of different styles. Have the kids helped you pick out some of these different like emojis, etc.?
Oh yeah, yeah. They tell me what they want, and I can make it happen. And so that's kind of fun. So We'd love to do some licensing agreements so we could do like, I don't know, comic book characters or,
For sure.
superheroes or something like that. So someday down the road, we hope to get there. But even still, right now, there's just so many good options and fun things that we can put on teeth. So
Oh, for sure. And then you have a spot on your website that says custom. So are you saying that somebody could send you like a design and you could get it custom printed?
yeah, I mean, we do that like by request right now. It got kind of busy with doing custom requests and they take some more time.
I
So
bet.
we still do them if people drop us an email and they're like, "Hey, I want to do this." And I love to work with people and try to get a cool idea. Sometimes people want to do a tattoo that spans multiple teeth or
Oh,
do
yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you can do with it. But we also have I think we just put it up. It's called a custom sheet creator. It's just, we used to just sell the images in packs where people could get a set, like, I don't know, there's one called like the nature and food pack, and it had pictures of pie and like leaves on it. But there's 30 different images and there's a lot of images on there, but it might not be the ones that you want. So
True.
we work with an awesome developer and they helped us develop a sheet creator where people can go in and just, scroll down on your phone, pick the images you want, and then we can just get those images. And so we're adding more to that all the time.
That's so cool. So really it's endless. For
Yep.
sure, and
Mhm.
your different styles. So would you say that the take home priming gel that you have there, and then I'm assuming is that so with your take home kit, it's a priming gel and then you have like a bond. So what's the priming gel in the take home kit if you're not usually etching?
So it is etch. So the
It is
priming
etch.
gel is etch. Yeah. I wasn't sure that people would understand what acid etch was if I put acid etch on there. And I just wanted them to realize it's just something that you can use. You don't have to. That'll prime that tooth and help the tattoo to stay on longer. But
Okay, awesome. So that means in the take home kit, they get both, and then
yep.
it's up to them if they want to use either or for how long it will stay on for.
Yeah. And in the instructions, it just kind of helps specify that you can use etch. It'll make it last longer. It'll make it a little bit harder to take off, or you can choose not to use etch and it'll last less time. It's a little quicker process. But yeah, you can use both.
So handy. So then, what would your recommendations be for a lot of the listeners, which are chairside providers? Would you recommend them using that as their steps, or would you recommend sourcing out from dental suppliers, etc., some maybe different bonding? And I mean, etch is etch. It's probably all
Yeah,
across the
etch
board
is
the same for
pretty
etch.
standard. Yeah.
But
Etch is
what
pretty
about the
standard.
bonding?
Bonding agents, we on our FAQ on there's a we have two different FAQs on our website. So we have a pro FAQ and a home kit FAQ.
Amazing.
On the pro FAQ, we list a few of the bonding agents that are like our current favorites that are super
Okay.
durable, work really well, and cure hard. And so you can check that out. And um, really, if you're already applying tooth gems, though, you probably have everything that you need to
True.
to do temporary tattoos. I mean, really, the supplies that you need are almost the same. If you have bonding agent and micro brushes, I mean, and a curing light, you could probably apply them.
They can do it.
If yeah, if you want to get started, a fairly inexpensive way to get started would be to try even our home kit too.
Good idea.
Just because it has everything you need. It's got bonding agent that will work, and it's got the light. It's got little tweezers in it, and it'll give you a taste to see if it's something that you want to do more often.
Yeah, no, that's great. Such an easy way to add into their already existing business.
Mhm.
So, I do have a question that came through on the FAQs that it's going to be really fun to see what you think. So, in the teeth whitening industry, especially as tooth gems are becoming more and more popular again, and now tattoos, what is your thoughts on if a provider should do a chairside whitening session prior to a tooth jam or a tattoo, or after? I guess the after would be more for a tooth gem, but there's this big debate on where you're going to get better retention on if you're whitening before or after the application. There are some different providers who feel really strongly that if you whiten prior to applying the tooth gem, then you're not going to have as good of adhesion. But then, of course, then there's the concern if you're whitening after the tooth gem, then kind of similar to the braces effect, you're not removing that extrinsic stain and then that area is not going to get whitened. So, what are your thoughts when it comes to a tooth tat? Should we be whitening right before? Like we could do it in the same chairside session and do our session, then the tooth tat? Or would you recommend whitening and then doing a separate appointment, possibly maybe 2 weeks post, then putting on the tooth tat? What do you think?
I mean, my gut feeling is you could probably whiten and put it on right after. I think I would definitely, yeah, I would whiten. Um, oh, what am I saying here? So I would say it's best to whiten first before you apply the tooth tat. Because I think I'd be more concerned that you're going to apply it, then go whiten your teeth, and you're going to have a square on your tooth that
Sure.
didn't get the stain out. Especially if you're applying it to your anterior teeth, your front teeth.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of my feeling on it. I think you could apply it right after though. I mean, if you have your teeth whitened, and then want to get a temporary tattoo on your tooth, you could do it right after. I don't think it would affect the adhesion of it a whole lot. I know sometimes people have been using orthodontic cement to attach tooth gems, and
Right?
that might be a little different. If you're applying tooth gems right after with orthodontic cement following a tooth whitening session, that could affect retention maybe. But just using bonding agent and etch, you'll likely be fine. I do the tooth
Yeah.
whitening session and then apply a tooth tattoo, and you'd probably be good.
Amazing. And I know the listeners are going to be so happy to hear that because it's going to be such an easy upsell for them since it's such a quick, extra service. They could easily upcharge their session by adding these to their
Oh yeah.
whitening sessions, which is going to be so exciting. So, one other question that came through when we had put out that you're coming on the show, we had lots of excited listeners, is there are a couple photos on your website that show that there's a tooth gem on top of a tooth tap. So
Uh-huh.
does that mean that so far, kind of what you've seen, the retention's actually okay if you were to kind of play around with both of them?
Yeah, it actually works really well. I had one on for when we were first testing it out, man. I had one for maybe a month, and it lasted pretty well before I took it off. Um,
Amazing.
but you get pretty good retention as long as you're using good bonding technique and high quality bonding agents. You can get good retention. So I think that's really the key to retention is you having good technique first, and then using good
Mhm.
quality products. Um, I think that makes a big difference. But yeah, it works great. That the whole reason we did we started using tooth gems with tooth tattoos is because of the tooth gem community, that had really picked up on our products, and we thought that was so cool. So I was trying to figure out a way to kind of collaborate, and so we made a couple of tooth tattoos that worked well with those, and we're going to do some more in the future because it's a lot of fun. It's a
Oh,
cool combo.
for sure, and they look so great. So then are you saying that you would apply the tooth tap with your regular steps? You definitely probably wouldn't be closing yet with the flow, not yet until you put the gem on. But then are you etching on the tooth tat? Do
No.
you
So, I mean, as far as the steps go for that, if I were using etch, I would take the tooth, etch the tooth, rinse it. Then I apply a bonding agent and then the tattoo image on the surface,
okay.
and then I cure it. Then
Mhm.
I would probably do two additional coats of the bonding agent. So apply bonding agent, cure it, apply bonding agent, cure it. And then I would take my flowable composite or whatever you're using to adhere to the tooth gem and place it on top, just like a clear flowable composite on top of the image, add your tooth gem, and then make sure it's set, for good retention and cure
Mhm.
it.
Perfect.
So
Easy.
yeah, mhm. It's really like
Amazing.
they they look more complicated than they actually are, I think, and that's why we put out the home kit because my kids can put them on. My daughter put one like a pumpkin on her tooth 2 weeks ago, and it's still holding
It's
up
the season.
great. Yeah, so
That's so good. So
they're
then
easy.
before I forget to ask, what is the tooth colorant?
Oh yeah, so that's another thing that we're gonna try and push a little bit more down the road or develop some more. I mean, it's fairly well developed, but I think a lot of people don't understand how to use it yet. But the tooth colorant, it's a proprietary blend of um, different color additives and pigments that blend well with bonding agent. And
Okay.
it's one of the processes that we've patented along with our um, or we have patents pending on that and on our tooth tattoo process and application and products. But the materials that we use are safe for your mouth, safe for teeth.
Perfect.
Um, you want to be careful though, because there are some things you can get that are similar um,
Okay.
online, but some of those are not well vetted materials, and you can find pigments or colorants that you're not quite sure where they came from. They can have lead in them or things that
True.
you really don't want in your mouth, or
Yeah.
that don't function well with bonding agents. But yeah, the colorants are super fun, and they also work really well with tooth tattoos. So um, we did a lot of them to start, and then we started focusing on the home kits, and we're probably going to jump back in and um, just take some more pictures and show people what you can do with that. It's probably one of those things that's maybe better for a pro application
Mm.
technique. It's a little bit more advanced of a technique, but once you figure out how to do it, it's really not that hard, and you can get some super cool results with it too.
That's so cool. And the listeners, if you haven't had a chance to jump on the website yet at the Temporary Tattooth, the tooth colorant, it literally is like putting a full resin color. It almost looks like a colored veneer almost.
Yeah,
Like,
that's totally what it looks like, and you can apply them without etch too, and like you can apply them with etch or without etch. If you apply them without etch, you can pick it off. You can apply it and then you can just get your fingernail underneath it, and sometimes they'll just come off in a whole sheet. If you etch it on there, they stay on really well. I we put one on my wife that lasted. What was it? We put one on. She went in for a tooth clean. Like we kind of forgot about it, honestly, because it was when we were first starting out, and we put a gold tooth on one of her back teeth, and just because we didn't see
that's
it,
too
like
funny.
we didn't do anything. So she went in, and my hygienist saw it, and she's like, "What on earth is on your tooth? I can't get it off." So she had this gold tooth, but I ended up just going in, with just like I'd remove orthodontic cement, polish it off in about 30 seconds, and totally back
Gone.
to normal. So mhm.
So cool. So cool. Oh, well, Dr. Smith, this has been so exciting. We are so excited for you. You're bringing something so new and innovative to this space, and we know it's going to do so, so well. Where can our followers find the Temporary Tattooth page or follow along for more info? Are you shipping? Where are you shipping right now? Are we more state based? Are we worldwide? Tell us all the details.
Okay. Yeah. So we are worldwide right now. We're shipping. I think I shipped something to New Zealand this morning. I mean,
Amazing.
so we'll try and work with anybody anywhere. So if you don't see something on our website, just shoot me an email and we'll try and make things work. Um, but our website is www.temporarytattooth.com, which I know is ridiculous. But or on Instagram, on Instagram's kind of where we post
Yeah,
a lot of our
most.
content, or from other providers that are sending us
Mm.
things that they've done. We try to feature them on there as well, and that's just at Temporary Tattooth. Um, so yeah, I mean, we'd love if you have questions or anything like that. You can always hit me up at our like the contact us section on our website,
Okay.
or shoot me an email, and I'd love to help you out. Try to help you get on top of doing temporary tattoos. So
Amazing. This is so good. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Smith. And those of you who are listening, thank you for listening to another episode of Whitening Wednesday.